Africa market entry update. Let's talk about Burkina Faso. Listen, as you see the picture back there, I had the honor a few months ago, I believe, of being welcomed at the Ambassador of Burkina Faso, Ambassador Kassoum, and also his team member, Dr. Tiobate, I believe. And then he was the second counselor of the economic development. And then, in my Ghana Orange, Monsieur Seny, Seny or Dr. Seny, deep gratitude. He's my liaison from Burkina Faso. He's brilliant, an MIT trained engineer who has worked across 43 African countries. So because of his support and credibility, we kind of working together as Francophone consultant because I speak French, English, sorry, and want to do this work together, really understanding the popularity of President Traoré. I think we know how Burkina Faso is hot right now. I think it's about understanding what President Traoré is doing, because it's not just inspiring. Of course, it's transformational. And Burkina Faso is inspiring the world. And Burkina Faso, it's all about, listen, made in Burkina Faso, built by Burkina Faso, but yet, I think the country is still open to strategic partnership, win-win. I mean, business is business. It's all about partnership because at the end of the day, the continent of Africa needs strategic partnership, especially in the U.S. But yeah, I mean, believe it or not, there's no beef between Burkina Faso and the U.S. I think at the end of the day, it's about understanding the U.S. private sector, but on Burkina Faso term. So I just want to kind of share what the visit about what we've been working on behind the scene because it's very important to make it clear that the Burkina Faso diaspora and the people of African descent and the community, all the ally really rally behind President Traoré, also showing that there's a lot of engagement. Of course, there's a lot of challenging, but I think it's really understanding the investment opportunity, the access. So it was a great meeting. We're cooking up a lot of stuff behind the scene. I kind of want to share just some information, just to be informed, to engage from the research and engagement and where we are working right now. Because at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of opportunity. U.S. Burkina Faso. I'm based in Boston, and we definitely, myself and Seny and I, trying to position the entire Boston ecosystem, the state of Massachusetts, because well, we need to understand that. Look, whether you're a U.S. investor, U.S. company, um, my thing is we got over 300,000 U.S. firm exporting globally, but never entering Africa, let alone Burkina Faso. I mean, it's rarely. They enter, but it's rare because the opportunity cost here is undeniable. So Burkina Faso is definitely rising. But let's talk about really understanding how big dream. This is a country with big dream. So I kind of want to share some of the sectors investment opportunity. I think we talked about the embassy, the entire country in terms of agriculture project. This is a huge, this is a country in West Africa, of course. It's funny, it doesn't touch the ocean because it's basically a country that's landlocked, surrounded by other country, what we call the Sahel or Français Sahel region, Mali, Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Ghana, right? I think Ghana, Ivory Coast too. Yeah, and the capital is Ouagadougou. They call it Ouaga. I'm French, and Seny is French, and I'm bilingual, French and English. But yeah, check this out. So it's like the city is Ouagadougou is about 3 to 4 million people, I believe. A lot of schools, hospital, and a lot of markets. But I think across the country, you have to believe the whole country, 24 million. Small country, but it's a lot of people. 24 million people. I mean, hey, and I'm sorry, and I think 8 million live in a city. It's good to know the numbers, right? In terms of trying to understand Burkina Faso ecosystem. It's part of the Sahel region. I think I say Sahel because Sahel is those semi-dry region between the Sahara Desert, so Mali, Nigeria, Senegal, all of that. And Burkina Faso, think about the size of what, Colorado, Kansas? I think I was doing some research in terms of the size of the country. But speak French, local language. I'm not sure how many, but Seny is the more expert in Burkina Faso. He's from there. But I think we work together. Me, I'm as a consultant, I do research, speak French. I like to engage that from a consultant inside perspective. and do my research and learn. But I think, yeah. And but the bottom line is this. This is what we got on about Burkina Faso right now. Burkina Faso has a food plan. It's very big when it comes to food. The sector is agriculture. So the country of Burkina Faso wants to grow enough food for everyone and create at least 100,000 jobs, right? Either by coming year or so. And then the budget is around $1 billion, where, most of, I think more than half would have to come from the private investor. That's why I think partnership is key. So the people that believe in Burkina Faso future, man, they really need to support. There's a lot of engagement between the diaspora and DC back and forth. And the focus on really this area of rice, man, potatoes, fish, mangoes, wheat, I read the report, the information, and they're building what we call irrigation system, basically fish farm, cattle zone, at the center. The idea, it's basically that, when farming grow, families thrive. Duh, right? And the economy lift up, rise the economy. So that's the concept. So I think if I have to say the top sector, and the next time I have my guy Seny here, we're doing a lot behind the scenes, agri-tech and food zone. That's basically right in the capital. They're really trying to focus on entire new, what we call an agro-pastoral and food processing zone, right? That's rising and basically blending technology and farming. And most of all, really empowering women. So it's a big women-led food startup. I mean, like I said, with a population of about 23 million nationwide, right? 3 to 4 million in the city. The plan has to run from like years to come. But that's the vision. It's about driving farming. And transforming farming sector. And there's a lot of ideas. I mean, you're thinking about, well, we always talking about app and stuff, mobile app for small farmers, agriculture, agri-processors, it's such a big sector. So you think about co-ops that drop packages, fruit like mangoes. I love mango. Man. A lot of women-led food packaging startups. The startup ecosystem is growing. I think with like 10 grand, 10 between 10 and 30 grand. I mean, your return on investment could be what, 2 years or so? And, there's always risk involved. But I feel like it's an idea, an estimate, just an idea to give you what to invest. But I think what's very important is to understand that um, when rural supply chain meet modern technology, there's a big impact on both sides, income, tech income, and there's definitely a return of investment. I think the opportunity here is basically looking at when we was reading the booklet, we were looking at, apple processing, because I think Burkina Faso at least grow, I mean, either between 300 and 400,000 tons of cashew apple every year. Cashew apple, but 90% goes to waste. I think that, let's think about Africa. We import too much, but I think that, yeah, it goes to waste, man. So imagine you can turn that into juice, wine, vinegar, or alcohol, right? Because I think right now the country of Burkina Faso, I can tell you, earn at least close to 100 million from exporting raw nuts, NUTS. But processing locally could double profit, because that's what you have. We've seen an image on TV still about domestic, local, like, because I know Benin and Cote d'Ivoire, they do a lot of the same stuff. Tomato processing, that's huge for Burkina Faso. I mean, Burkina Faso, I believe, imports close to 8 million in tomatoes, each year. And even though, they grow plenty of tomatoes. So it's kind of, as I was reading and studying, I was like, this is definitely interesting, right? It just a lot of opportunity, because you're thinking about, dry tomatoes, you know what I mean? Cut waste, and I think it's about doing business internally too, because they can sell it to neighbor country, Nigeria, Ghana, and Mali. Yeah, what else? Shea butter and oil processing is huge. Burkina Faso, yes, is rich in shea nuts, right? And that's, guess what? Used for lotion and soap and hair product, but. 80% get exported raw, raw. But by building, I think, local factories, which is the case across Africa, by building local factory, I think Burkina Faso can create a lot of clean beauty and, farmer grade products. So all of these sector across the U.S., man, these company. And then we can trade this product within the whole Africa continental free trade area, which is the whole concept of African country trading with each other. So yeah, I mean, I definitely looking for this opportunity. Again, shout out to Seny Mama. He's a highly respected bridge builder, the guy wearing orange, consultant, well respected Burkina Faso as an engineer, working with the ambassadors, with the president of Burkina Faso. So we are cooking some big things behind the scene. Seny advised a lot on technology and diaspora engagement, and of course, my expertise. I'm the quarterback, the train driver, expert on advising on U.S. Africa markets. I like to generalize to kind of help people understand basic, and then we talk about sector by sector, country by country, region by region. Right? I'm a business consultant. I do a lot of business consulting and training development services because I train on these things. But the bottom line, when it comes to Burkina Faso, maybe small, y'all, but it's thinking big, right? Because when farming, tech, and people like Seny and the ambassador and the whole team in DC, because we had to go to DC to meet them, you're trying to grow the future, man. So it's a lot of challenges, but a lot of opportunities. So that's Burkina Faso. A lot behind the scene working on, but if you definitely want to be part of this conversation, get more information, I cannot share everything, but we're excited, we're cooking. Click below, definitely connect with me so we can kind of discuss what we are working on Burkina Faso and our engagement. All right, that's Burkina Faso. Peace.